it's MK, and I am here with another layout for you guys for Scrappin' on a Ship 2024. And today my layout is inspired by Jody Compton, who is FloppyEaredFarm on social media. I am sharing with you guys the elements that I picked out from my Kit Conspiracy mixed up kit. So I've got a couple things from the Spring Garden collection by Simple Stories. I've got the gingham green, as well as these blue butterflies. I also have a couple pieces picked out from the Good Vibrations collection by Pretty Little Studio. So I've got a couple things there. Not sure if I'm going to use that flower or not, but honestly, I don't know if I'm going to use anything. I have a few pieces, mostly chipboard from the Wherever collection by 49 and Market. So I've got those going on. And then that My Happy Place sticker way down at the bottom, that's actually from Simple Stories, the Spring Garden collection. I have my photos. I'm going to have 4 photos. And then I picked out some branding strips, but I'm going to have to tell you guys that I don't think I end up using all of them. I think that somewhere between making the layout, I make that decision that I'm just not going to make it. Also from Simple Stories, the Spring Garden, I have this cut apart card that I'm going to be just using the blue around it. I have a scrap from Midnight Garden. I also have another scrap from Spring Garden. And then my base page is this map print from the Wherever collection. So I've got a really good mix of all the things from all my collections. And I'm super, super excited about having those available. So I'm going to dive right in and know that I'm going to put a band somewhere on this layout because that is what Jody has done on her layout, my inspiration layout. She shifted everything over to the left. I'm actually going to turn her layout so everything is banded going left and right. And then I'm going to take my photos, and at first I was going to use this green paper as the extra strip that she has. Jody has a purple strip going across, now, since I turned it, going across the top of her band. And at first I thought I was going to do the same thing, but then I realized that she has a lot of layering pieces as well behind her photo. And I thought, okay, well, I need to incorporate that because that all the tucking and the layering is what drew me to this sketch or to this layout to begin with. So did I want to focus on the band that she had across the paper, or did I want to focus on the layering behind her photo? And I instantly went back to the layering of the photo. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up this piece. Now, they're not going to be perfect layers, so I purposely left them jagged and a little bit off, and just all around, I just left them wonky, basically. So that way it looked like and had that illusion of multiple layers, even though I really didn't have a lot to play with. Another thing too is I'm going to change this gingham sticker just because of the fact that it looked to me like it was printed on white rather than printed on the off-white like what the paper was. So it really didn't have a color match to it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't use it in any of my layouts either. So I'm going to go ahead and take a distress ink. I think I finally brought in like pumice stone. And before it has time to dry, I'm going to try to wipe it off with my rag. So that way it's not super uber dark, but it's not super crisp and white either like I felt like it was. I'm going to take just a regular ruler and tear off strips of this blue so I can bring in a little bit more blue because, they're airplane photos. And of course, I've got to focus on either the blue part of the plane or the blue of the sky. So this is actually pictures of my my trip home. And very rarely do I pay attention to when we come into Salt Lake and we go over one of the largest holes in the earth, which is a mine that is right there in Salt Lake. And I think it's fascinating. If you look up the largest holes in the earth, this mine actually pops up in, I don't know if it gives you the location, but it is in Salt Lake, Utah. And so I thought it was fascinating because I've never been able to get good pictures like this before. I was just super thrilled with being able to be on that specific side of the plane and get these pictures. Normally, I'm not paying attention when I sit down and know where the plane, in which direction the plane is going to fly into Salt Lake from. But I do know that the plane it comes in and then it does almost like a switchback to be able to line up with the landing strip. So look at me talking all technical and I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it tickled me pink to know that I got to take these pictures. As many times as I've been flying, I've never gotten pictures like this. So I had to document it. I had to say something because the mining industry was a huge part of my life for several years. And it still fascinates me today. So even though I'm not a part of it or documenting it 24/7, this made me happy. It really did. And I love documenting things that make me happy, right? As well as things that, make me indifferent. It just depends. Okay, so focusing more on the tucking techniques, instead of, for one, I'm going to tuck some, but not a lot. And I decided that I wanted to tuck a little bit up in the upper right-hand corner. So I don't have a whole lot of pieces to be playing with because I just have scraps, but I do want to tuck a lot of things. So I'm going to create a little title up at the top. It's just a teeny tiny little title. But it's got to have a lot of layers behind it, just like Jody has on her, behind her photo. I've got another tucking piece right here. I'm only going to concentrate, though, really on 1 or 2 photos. I don't want a whole lot of tucking around all the photos because then I feel like it's just going to look like a hot mess. I can see now why Jody only used 1 photo with all of those layers, because if she would have done it, in my opinion, with multiple photos, it just would have taken away from the whole look I feel like she was trying to achieve. I didn't want to use that sticker going all the way across. I just wanted to tuck it in and out. And then I figured I could use it somewhere else on the layout if I wanted to. But because Jody had that extra strip on her layout, I did go ahead and add something, but I put it down at the bottom because my strip of paper isn't flush all the way down at the bottom. I chose to pop it up some and still see that map print behind everything. I just really wanted it to be at the top and the bottom of my layout. So I chose not to put my scrap paper all the way down at the bottom. And they're just choices. Like I said, I'm picking and choosing what I want from this layout of Jody's. And another thing that I really liked too was her tucked in tags. And so I'm going to tuck in a bunch of labels instead of tags. I personally like labels more than I do tags. I kind of struggle with tags. But tags or labels give me a good piece, a good place to put my little butterflies. And I can put my little butterflies down almost in the same spots where Jody has her gold flowers. So I really liked being able to do that. And I've got some more labels here. They're just some chipboard labels that are about traveling, but they're not airplane related. One is a hotel, the other one is a carriage. And so I'm going to try to find ways to cover them up and still be able to enjoy the fact that they're labels. So I've got a few more pieces. I also have a couple of tabs to play with for more tucking. I love adding tabs because it does give me that illusion that a lot more is tucked behind the photo or the journaling or whatever it is that the tab hangs up of. So I really do like that addition of that tuck, right? And then of course in one label I'm going to have where I think it says where to next. Yes. And then I instantly put the stacked suitcases on one of the labels. They were perfect for covering up the hotel. So now I just need to find out excuse me. Now I need to just find out how I'm going to cover up that carriage, because it doesn't really go with my my flight photos. And then I've got this cute little airplane that matched perfectly, so I'm going to put it right above the where to next. And I debated about adding hearts, and I thought, nope, no. For one, I think they were going to get lost, and for two, I just really, no. I have these two elements from the Good Vibes collection that I did not use, and it doesn't look like they're going to make it on the layout. And I'm going to take the rest of the branding strip that was on either side of the Enjoy the Journey branding strip to help me cover up and have more tucking. Even though they're not tags, they are little flags or banner pieces that I could have just tucked in and covering up that that carriage, but not the label, not the whole label. So I really like this. And I mean, honestly, this was all inspired by Jody's layout, you guys. It really was. Like I said, I picked and chose all the different kinds of elements from this beautiful layout that I really wanted to incorporate within my layout. And it turned out totally different because, for one, I flipped her layout on the side, and then I just pulled in all the tucking. Even though I didn't do as much layering as she did, I still feel like I got that effect of all the layering with all of my pieces and whatnot. So thank you, Jody, for such an amazing layout. I really did enjoy getting the inspiration from your layout. Your layouts are all gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing them with us. Please be sure to check out everyone else in the playlist down below. Now, you won't find my videos in the playlist because I am not technically playing along with May I Scraplift You, but I do have the link down there, so you guys can go check out those. And also, too, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations, because she is playing along with Scrappin' on a Ship with me all month long as well. So I hope we can get a good dent going on in in our cruise layouts. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will check y'all later. Bye.